What do you really need in order to get investors' attention? Is it having a letter of intent? Is it making your first sale? Or is it already generating hundreds of thousands or even a million of sale? Today, we're going to look into what are investors looking for and how to persuade them that you're really taking your business seriously and that they should take you seriously as well. Hi, my name is Ogi Vasilev, and I'm doing these videos for people who want to grow themselves and their businesses. I spent more than a decade in leading corporations such as Boston Consulting Group, Accenture, Salesforce, and right now I'm mentoring future leaders at the incubators of Harvard Business School, Technical University of Munich, and also back in my home country, Bulgaria. So we wanted to look into how to make investors take us seriously. Now let's look at the topic. As intelligent people, most probably will already assumed correctly that in order to approach an investor, you have to show them any type of numbers. So that's already the right approach. Now let's look into what investors might be looking at. I have another video that you can check on the links below where I'm discussing what are the different things investors are normally looking at. There are many things you will find out. For you to summarize, maybe several factors to think of, like how strong is your team, what's your track record, apparently how great is the idea, and how much do you understand about this idea, the niche, the industry, and so on. But one of the most important things, and if you check out the video, you're going to see the graph there that we've prepared for you. You're going to see that implementation is the thing that really investors are the most interested at. Why are they so much interested in that? Because of course, many people, all of us are walking with the same ideas. Everyone has thought of a very healthy food chain, or everyone has thought of an AI application that can do that and that. The question is, who is really going to do it? Who has the talent, the capacity, the connections, the capital, everything that's needed in order to implement an idea? And that's why normally investors want to, if you think about it, what is their biggest fear when they decide to invest in someone? Well, the biggest fear is that one day you go back to them and you say, well, we took your money, we tried our best, it didn't work out, we're sorry, right? I mean, that's something that apparently every investor would like to avoid, and that's why they would normally be looking for someone who can really do what they are talking about, right? Like implement the idea. And that's why I can see that almost every day. Like I said, I do a lot of mentoring at different incubators. So we do have, every time we have very smart people that have a great pitch deck. They're talking about, for example, how great is the team, what's the market potential, what's the total addressable market, what part of the market they believe they can get, what's their business model, and so on. And that's great, but that's all on paper. And actually what we need, or what investors need in order to be a little bit more secure, is they need some indication that you are the one that's really going to make that happen. So how do we do that, or how can you stand out, right? Before I show you the 5 ways or the 5 things you could do in order to stand out and look more serious about your business and show or give that traction or that metrics that investors want to see to the investors, let's just discuss why is that needed. Just imagine the following. I am sure that many of you right now are also investing in some stocks. And if I mention several companies, for example, like IBM, Meta, Nvidia, what else? Salesforce, Microsoft, I'm pretty sure that almost every one of you has invested in some of these companies. And why have you invested in them? Well, the reason is they're safe bets. You kind of know their traction. You see, maybe some of you are reading into their earnings announcement. You know how they're progressing, that they're doing a lot of work. For years, they've been showing traction and so on. As a startup founder, most probably you don't have that traction, that track record, so that people, when they see you, they just automatically decide, I need to invest in this one. So what you need to do is you need to generate this credibility, and you can do it by several things. So first, and I know I'm going to say something very obvious, is if you don't have traction, get some traction, right? Like that will be the first, but I know that doesn't help. So let's look and what are other ways you can show you're serious without having the traction, because like I said, understand if you have traction, if everything's going well. I can give you many examples, right? One of the last sessions in the Harvard Business School, when we had the demo day of the different startups, there were very talented, incredible people discussing their ideas. There were many different ideas about different industries. There was, of course, a lot of AI, but also there was a lot of, for example, more kind of platform businesses and some cybersecurity and so on, right? So that's great. But of course, there was one startup that was talking about HR processes. So kind of it was SaaS that can help you upskill your employees and so on. The moment the team was presenting in front of everyone, the moment they show their traction, how much revenues they're already generating, and they even mentioned that the day before they had closed a huge deal, you can imagine how the conversation changed. It moved from the typical questions investors will have of, did you study your market? Do you believe that's a hot trend? Why do you believe so? What's your team? Do you have the skills to implement it? And so on. From all these questions, like no one asked these questions, right? Like the conversation went directly to the level of, okay, what else do you need in order to get to the next level of success? What resources do you need? How can we help? How can we help you? How can we be helpful, right? And these are exactly the questions you want to be getting. And this happens when you do have traction. So, like I said, imagine you still don't have any traction. You want to create some. So what can you do? Several things you can do is number one, show your commitment. So even if results are still not there, what you can be doing is you could be showing everyone how committed you are. And this is expressed through simple things like, for example, having your LinkedIn account up to date with very, let's say, a lot of information, you posting passionately about what you're currently doing. Number two would be some soft metrics or indicators. So, for example, imagine you didn't manage to close a sale yet, but you're still trying to have at least 20 meetings per week, for example, or 30 or 40 or 50. Whenever you show these numbers to an investor, that's where they get higher confidence that you're actually working on it, that you're going all in, and that's sooner or later this is going to be successful. If you are just talking about one day potentially starting selling, then apparently you're not showing that much of a commitment and it's not taken that seriously. Another thing you can do if there is no traction yet is you can get different. You can every time you talk about your business, you should be talking with a lot of passion, right? It shouldn't be something like an idea that you're just trying out, experimenting, studying currently. Like you should really talking about your vision and how you're going to bring that vision to reality. Number four would be some indicators about that you have skin in the game, like showing. And I know that many of you are dedicating a lot of time, investing a lot of resources. Some of the, you're sacrificing so many things. So just make sure that that's obvious, that investors know about it. If, for example, you decided to give up a six-figure salary and to work on that, for example, maybe you scale down your lifestyle or something. Like these are important things that show how serious you are about the startup. And then the last one would be, I guess, whenever you have these conversations about what's the salary or remuneration you're thinking of. Again, I'm not encouraging you to kind of work for free, but I would advise that you rather ask for a lower compensation, because it's never seen very well if you are like trying to get this investment to pay yourself a very generous salary, and you believe that with this you're going to bring this company to success, right? So kind of it shows that most probably you have other short-term objectives and you're not that, let's say, capable or not that much interested in having a short-term loss or sacrifice in order to achieve long-term gains. And that's what investors are looking for. So I hope that helped. These are 5. Once again, we have higher commitment, just show it everywhere. Make sure that you have skin in the game, explain to people or make it transparent what your skin in the game is. Also make sure that you're not going for a very high salary. Make sure also that you talk with a lot of passion, that you represent your ideas with a lot of passion. Be there, be very committed, and also show the soft metrics that can help you for the time being before you get the hard metrics, the sales, the revenues, the contracts, and everything, right? So I hope that was helpful. These are just several advice based on my experience. One thing I'm doing is we're organizing a startup conference back in my home country in Bulgaria. It was going to be in November, 8th to the 10th of November, and we're going to attract many speakers, investors, entrepreneurs, ecosystem builders, and all of them are going to share some tips about entrepreneurship. So if you want to hear more perspectives about what's important, how to persuade investors, what are investors looking for, how do they take decisions, where to invest and where not to invest, just check out the conference and potentially maybe it's something that you want to consider joining. Okay, so I hope you like this video. I hope it was useful. There are three things you can do right now in order to help me, help yourself, and help someone else. Number one, share this video with someone who needs to hear that, who can get inspired, who can get some help from what we just discussed. Number two is subscribe to this channel. The more subscribers we have, the higher chance we have that when I reach out to highly talented people to share their experience with us, that they say no, right? Like we don't want them to say no. We want them to come here so that we can all learn from them. And number three is, if this video was relevant for you, just check out one or two things that you can really apply from this video in your day-to-day work and projects, and let me know how it went. Thank you very much. See you soon.